Hey, what's up guys? It's Donnie. I'm here to present my newest video, my top 9 Morning Musume eras. I thought it would be cool to discuss and rank Morning Musume's eras. We have 4 officially recognized eras of Morning Musume, but there are gaps in Morning Musume's history that are unaccounted. I would like to use this video to share my opinions and my own interpretation of Morning Musume's timeline. For any new Morning Musume fans watching, I actually do not recommend using this video as a resource to understand Morning Musume's eras. Not completely, at least. I will talk about the 4 official eras, but I will add my own unofficial eras into the mix. This video will start with me discussing the 9 eras and end with my personal ranking. Before we begin, I need to thank everyone who supports me and the channel. It feels really good to know there are people that value my opinion. I want you to know that I value yours as well. But please remember, my opinion is not the end-all and be-all of Morning Musume, so please share your opinions in the comments section. I'm beginning to ramble as usual, so let's begin. I present my top 9 Morning Musume eras. Let's start with the first era. I like to call it the coffee era. This is an unofficial era that spans from September 14th, 1997 to August 21st, 1999, lasting 1 year, 11 months, 8 days. It features generations 1 and 2 and was led by Nakazawa Yuko. The lead vocalists during the coffee era, I feel, were Ida Kori, Abe Natsumi, and Fukuda Asuka. There was one graduation, being Fukuda Asuka of Generation 1. This era released 7 singles, including the indie demo, Ai no Tane, and 2 albums. So the coffee era is the beginning of Morning Musume. I feel in this era you will find nice quality music. The classic 90s city pop sound about love and breakups with loads of harmonizing. The coffee era loved to harmonize in their music. I feel it's this era's signature music style. The undeniable ace during this period is Abe Natsumi. The group was completely centered around Natsumi's vocals and visuals. I feel this was a time when Morning Musume as a collective was hungry for the spotlight. I believe Morning Musume would not exist today without this era's contributions. Sure, they had support from Sunku, who was already established and respected in the industry, plus their early media appearances, but when you receive the ball, you have to run with it, and the coffee era certainly did that. We need to give respect to generations 1 and 2, because they are the foundation of Morning Musume. The second era is the Golden Era. The Golden Era is an official era with an unclear time span, I think. Some fans span it from 1999 to 2001. I've also seen some fans take it all the way to 2004. For me, the Golden Era begins on August 22nd, 1999 and ends on August 25th, 2001, lasting 2 years, 4 days. The Golden Era features generations 1 through 4 and was again led by Nakazawa Yuko until her graduation on April 15, 2001. Then, Ida Kori took leadership on April 16, 2001. The lead vocalists during the Golden Era, I feel, are Abe Natsumi and Goto Maki. There are 3 graduations. The graduates are Ishiguro Aya of Generation 1, Ichi Sayaka of Generation 2, and Nakazawa Yuko of Generation 1. This era released 6 singles and 2 albums. There are so many things to discuss about the Golden Era, but I'll try to keep it short and sweet. First, we have the debut of one of the most iconic members, Goto Maki, who is also the sole 3rd generation member. Second, we have the single that catapulted Morning Musume to stardom, Love Machine. The success of Love Machine turned Morning Musume into a household name. It is their first single to produce over 1 million sales, and these 1 million sale trends would continue for the next 2 singles. Lastly, we have the debut of the 4th generation, which features Ishikawa Rika, Yoshizawa Hitomi, Tsuji Nozomi, and Kago Ai. The 4th generation added much needed charisma to Morning Musume. I feel there was a tone shift in the golden era. Morning Musume's presentation was goofier and quirkier as opposed to the previous era where their image was more conservative. I guess you could say they portrayed themselves more as idols than artists. It's the early 2000s. It's a new millennium. I feel the message entering the 21st century was to release your inhibitions and express yourself. I feel Golden Era tapped into that. Golden Era's music was also more cheerful and eccentric. Overall, the Golden Era was definitely a cultural reset in J-pop culture. The third era is the Golden Era 2. This is an unofficial era for me and is the direct sequel to the Golden Era. Golden Era 2 begins on August 26, 2001 and ends on January 24, 2004, lasting 2 years, 4 months, 30 days. The Golden Era 2 features generations 1 through 6 and was led by Ida Kori. The lead vocalists during the Golden Era 2, I feel, are once again Abe Natsumi and Goto Maki. There are 2 graduations. The graduates are Goto Maki of Generation 3 and Yasuda Kei of Generation 2. This era released 9 singles and 3 albums. I feel Golden Era 2 is peak Morning Musume. With the additions of the 5th and 6th generations, Morning Musume was stacked with colorful members and diverse personalities. With the addition of Generation 6 in 2003, Morning Musume's roster reached 16 members, which is the highest it's ever been, even to this day. There were so many members, the group temporarily split into 2 subgroups. How iconic is that? Morning Musume became very experimental with their sound during this era as well. There was a lot of variety in their music. Swing, R&B, rock ballad, etc. I said the lead vocalists were Abe Natsumi and Goto Maki, but I feel line distribution was dispersed to a variety of members. Most members had their moment to shine. Again, I feel Golden Era 2 is peak Morning Musume. I would have loved to have been a fan during this time. The 4th era is the graduation era. This is an unofficial era that begins on January 25th, 2004 and ends on May 7th, 2005, lasting 1 year, 3 months, 13 days. The graduation era features generations 1 and 2 and 4 through 7. This era was led by Ida Kori until her graduation on January 30th, 2005, then followed by Yaguchi Mari, who led until she resigned on April 14th, 2005. Then lastly, Yoshizawa Hitomi, who took leadership on April 15th, 2005. The lead vocalists of the graduation era, I feel, are Abe Natsumi, sort of, Yaguchi Mari, Ishikawa Rika, Yoshizawa Hitomi, Takahashi Ai, and Fujimoto Miki. There are 5 graduations and 1 resignation. The graduates are Abe Natsumi of Generation 1, Tsuji Nozomi of Generation 4, Kago Ai of Generation 4, Ida Kori of Generation 1, and Ishikawa Rika of Generation 4. Yaguchi Mari of Generation 2 resigned from the group due to her private relationship being leaked to the public. This era released 5 singles and 1 album. The graduation era is a transitional era of Morning Musume. We witnessed a mass exit of members. We lost 6 members in 1 year. That's a lot in a short time frame. We see the graduations of founding members as well as Golden Era members. The last original Golden Era member remaining is Yoshizawa Hitomi of Generation 4. The focus of the group began to shift away from the senior members and focus on Generations 5 and 6. At this point, Generations 5 and 6 are preparing to lead the group through the rest of the decade. This era began with 15 members and ends with 10 members. Kusumi Koharu joins Morning Musume as the sole 7th generation member on May 1st, 2005, 1 week before the era officially ends. The 5th era is the Purple Era. I've seen fans call this era the Heaven Era, the Miracle Era, and the Twilight Era as well. Honestly, all names work for me. I'm basic, so I'll simply call it the Purple Era. The Purple Era is an unofficial era that begins on May 8th, 2005 and ends on June 1st, 2007, lasting 2 years, 25 days. The Purple Era features generations 4 through 8. This era was led by Yoshizawa Hitomi until her graduation on May 6, 2007, then followed by Fujimoto Miki, who led until she resigned on June 1, 2007. The lead vocalists of the Purple Era, I feel, are Takahashi Ai, Fujimoto Miki, and Tanaka Reina. There are 3 graduations and 1 resignation. The graduates are Kono Asumi of Generation 5, Ogawa Makoto of Generation 5, and Yoshizawa Hitomi of Generation 4. Fujimoto Miki of Generation 6 resigned from the group due to her private relationship being leaked to the public. This era released 7 singles and 3 albums. I'm very surprised this is not an official era. For the most part, the lineup was pretty stable and the music was consistent. Morning Musume felt very cohesive in these 2 years. Everyone knew their role in the group and played their part accordingly. We need to discuss how sales began to decline during this period. It makes sense in a way. The founding members have departed the group, Generations 2 and 3 are gone, and Yoshizawa Hitomi is the last remnant of the Golden Era. The Morning Musume that fans were introduced to in the 90s and early 2000s no longer exists. What I noticed about the Purple Era is how the group shed their goofy, zany image and really embraced and expressed their femininity and their youth. I feel singles like Sexy Boy, Ambitious, and Arui Teru best support my claim. Overall, I feel the Purple Era was a solid era. I don't see it being celebrated enough online. The 6th era is the Platinum Era. The Platinum Era is an official era that begins on June 2nd, 2007 and ends on December 15th, 2010, lasting 3 years, 6 months, 14 days. The Platinum Era features generations 5 through 8. The Platinum Era was led by Takahashi Ai starting on June 2nd, 2007. The lead vocalists of the Platinum Era, I feel, are Takahashi Ai, Nigaki Risa, Kame Eri, and Tanaka Reina. There are 4 graduations. The graduates are Kusumi Koharu of Generation 7, Kame Eri of Generation 6, Junjun of Generation 8, and Lin of Generation 8. This era released 11 singles and 4 albums. The Platinum Era is probably the most favorite era by Morning Musume fans. The Platinum Era is significantly different from previous eras. First, no one joined the group during this time. The member lineup remained stable until the last year. This gave fans the opportunity to learn and form a personal bond with the members. Second, the group's average age was pretty high. I believe everyone was an adult during this era. Kusumi Koharu and Mitsui Aika were the only underage members, and I believe Tanaka Reina and Lin Lin turned 18 in 2007 and 2009 respectively. So mostly everyone was an adult, and it showed in their music. Lastly, speaking of the music was more mature. The songs were more about relationships and the drama that follows them. The Platinum Era is notable for its use of piano, strings, and synth in their songs. The song lyrics were almost like poetry. Even vocally, Morning Musume was at its peak. Everyone brought something to the table, and if they couldn't bring vocal power, they brought their charismatic personalities. I felt the Purple Era expressed their femininity and youth in their music, while I feel the Platinum Era expressed their womanhood and maturity in their music. Morning Musume also celebrated their 10-year anniversary in this era. I say all of these wonderful things about the Platinum Era's music, but ironically, Morning Musume's sales were at its lowest during this period. I did a little research in learning why sales were low. I read articles and old forum posts that explained that the rise of AKB48 possibly attributed to low sales. I also read that Morning Musume's inaccessibility to fans was a possible contributing factor. The biggest one I read is that fans simply grew out of Morning Musume, which makes sense. Regardless, the Platinum Era is one of the most revered and respected eras in Morning Musume history. The 7th era is the New Era. The New Era is an unofficial era that begins on December 16th, 2010 and ends on May 18th, 2012, lasting 1 year, 5 months, 3 days. The New Era features generations 5 and 6 and 8 through 10. The New Era was led by Takahashi Ai until her graduation on September 30th, 2011, then followed by Nigaki Risa starting on October 1st, 2011 until her graduation on May 18th, 2012. The lead vocalists of the New Era, I feel, are Takahashi Ai, Nigaki Risa, Tanaka Reina, and Sayashi Riho. There are 3 graduations. The graduates are Takahashi Ai of Generation 5, Nigaki Risa of Generation 5, and Mitsui Aika of Generation 8. This era released 5 singles and 1 album. So apparently a few years ago, the Colorful Era was confirmed to officially begin with the joining of the 9th generation members in 2011. I'm sorry, but we need to push back on that. I don't agree with that at all. 2011 is not Colorful Era. The Colorful Era starts in 2012. When I think of the Colorful Era, I think of EDM, auto-tune vocals, formation dancing, Sayashi Riho as total center, Michishige Sayumi as leader, etc. Nothing in 2011 screams Colorful Era to me. A member wearing their member color does not make anything the Colorful Era. If that's the case, the Colorful Era started back in 2004. I would say this time period is a nice prelude to the Colorful Era, but it isn't Colorful Era, and I wish more fans would push back on this narrative, because I feel saying Colorful Era starts in 2011 is insulting to Sayumi. Let Takahashi Ai and Nigaki Risa have the Platinum Era, and let Sayumi and Tanaka Reina have the Colorful Era. So the Platinum Era ended in controversial fashion. Management pressed the reset button on Morning Musume. The Platinum Era started with 9 members and concluded with 5 members. Morning Musume hasn't had 5 members since the group's birth with the original 5 first-generation members. It was time to revive Morning Musume. The final Platinum Era members are all adults now, so their time to graduate was now. Morning Musume needed to fill the group back with teenagers, and that's exactly what they did. The 9th and 10th generations were added to the group in January 2011 and September 2011 respectively. This was a total of 8 new members. These generations will be the generations to carry us through the rest of the 2010s. Once again, There was a tone shift with the new era. Platinum era presented themselves in a more mature manner. The new era is the complete opposite of that, presenting themselves in a more fun, childlike manner. The music reflects this new vibe, but we begin seeing experiments with the EDM sound in songs like Kanashiki Koi no Melody and Renai Hunter. The 8th era is the colorful era. The colorful era is an official era that begins on May 19th, 2012 and ends on November 26th, 2014, lasting 2 years, 6 months, 8 days. The colorful era features generations 6 and 9 through 12. The colorful era was led by Michishige Sayumi until her graduation on November 26, 2014. The lead vocalists of the colorful era, I feel, are Michishige Sayumi, Tanaka Reina, Fukumura Mizuki, Sayashi Riho, Ishida Ayumi, Sato Masaki, and Oda Sakura. There are 2 graduations. The graduates are Tanaka Reina of Generation 6 and Michishige Sayumi of Generation 6. This era released 8 singles, or 16 individual singles, and 3 albums. So apparently, Colorful Era officially begins in 2011, but I'm pushing back on that. It begins and ends with Michishige Sayumi's leadership for me. The Colorful Era is Morning Musume's revival era. Morning Musume fully embraces EDM as their signature sound, and it works as we see a major resurgence in single sales again. The Colorful Era is known for its new EDM styling, their new formation dancing, auto-tuned vocals, and fully utilizing member colors for merchandising, outfits, and promotions. This era is iconic, and I feel this is where many current Morning Musume fans begin their journey with the group. The public was interested in Morning Musume again, and the Colorful Era was bustling with activity. There was so much content produced in this era. 9th generation member Sayashi Riho was undoubtedly the star of this era. The Colorful Era was completely centered around her vocals and dancing. When you watch any media pertaining to the Colorful Era, you will see Sayashi Riho front and center. Riho was such a focal part of the Colorful Era, she was given the title Absolute Ace. The Colorful Era ends with the graduation of Michishige Sayumi, who at the time was the most tenured Morning Musume member of all time, with 11 years, 10 months, 7 days. Sayumi was also the final Platinum Era member to exit the group. Sayumi passes her leadership to 9th generation member Fukumura Mizuki. The 9th generation are now the most tenured generation of Morning Musume. The 9th era is the Fukumura Mizu Era. The Fukumura Mizu Era is an official era that begins on November 27th, 2014 and ends on November 29th, 2023, lasting 9 years, 3 days. The Fukumura Mizu Era features generations 9 through 17. The Fukumura Mizu Era was led by Fukumura Mizuki until her graduation on November 29th, 2023. The lead vocalists of the Fukumura Mizu Era, I feel, are Fukumura Mizuki, Sayashi Riho, Ishida Ayumi, specifically from 2014 to 2017, Sato Masaki, Oda Sakura, and Nonaka Miki, specifically starting in 2020. There are 9 graduations. The graduates are Sayashi Riho of Generation 9, Suzuki Kanon of Generation 9, Kudo Haruka of Generation 10, Ogata Haruna of Generation 12, Ikubo Haruna of Generation 10, Sato Masaki of Generation 10, Marito Chisaki of Generation 14, Kaga Kaidi of Generation 13, and Fukumura Mizuki of Generation 9. This era released 16 singles, or 40 individual singles, 2 digital singles, and 4 albums. The Fukumura Mizu Era is the current and so far longest era in Morning Musume history. This era encompasses the leadership of Fukumura Mizuki. Again, this era is long, so naturally we see things peak, then plateau, then peak again, then plateau once more. We witnessed the shocking graduation of Sayashi Riho in 2015, the rapid additions of the 13th and 14th generations. We celebrate Morning Musume's 20th anniversary and experience the worldwide COVID-19 pandemic in this era. The Fukumura Mizu era continues the EDM music style from the colorful era, but there are some singles in this era that stray from the electronic sound. The Fukumura Mizu era lineup prides itself in its endurance and stamina, and they do not disappoint. You will find some of the most physically demanding concert tours in this era. The group really raised the bar in that aspect. The concerts in this era are beyond electric. The Fukumura Mizu era ends with Fukumura Mizuki's graduation. She, along with her generation mate, Ikuta Erina, hold titles for longest tenures in Morning Musume, with over 12.5 years. Overall, some fans may view the Fukumura Mizu era as a stagnant period in Morning Musume's history, but I hope years from now, we look back and praise the good of this era. The Fukumura Mizu era carried Morning Musume's legacy with brilliance. So now that we've discussed the 9 eras, let's rank them. Again, this is just my opinion, this is a personal ranking, nothing objective. It's just what my tastes are. So please share your top favorites in the comment section. Alright, at number 9 I have the coffee era. Please don't misunderstand me, I'm not ranking it low because I dislike the era. I love all eras actually. This one's still a favorite, it's just a least favorite if that makes sense. I feel Morning Musume produced some of their best music during this time, but the group's image was just a little too conservative for my taste. What I love most about Morning Musume is the coolness factor they exude, and that coolness is missing here. Morning Musume as a group was still trying to find its character to me. Again, I feel Morning Musume produced some of their best work here. Daite Hold on Me, Memory Seishu no Akari, Furusato, Night of Tokyo City, the list goes on. At number 8, I have the Golden Era. Again, I don't dislike the era, it's just not at the top for me. The music is great, the direction Morning Musume was going was great, very charismatic lineup. Overall, it just isn't a favorite of mine. Sorry. At number 7, I have the Fukumura Mizu Era. This era is just too damn long, I'm sorry. There were many times where it peaked, then fell flat, then peaked again, then fell flat. The inconsistency is kind of a lot. I mean, it's expected, but experiencing it isn't fun. I personally feel the best years of this era are 1-6, 1-9, and 2-1. Morning Musume 1-6 proved they would be fine without Riho. 1-6, they were on point that year. Morning Musume 1-9, before and after the 15th generation joined, was solid too. If the pandemic didn't happen, then, I mean, Morning Musume would have been like, they would have went global. Like, how they finished 2019 was just perfect. The group was really good that year. And Morning Musume 2-1, post-pandemic, that was a good lineup too. They were great that year as well. I really feel like the pandemic just kind of messed this era up, because I feel like they were really about to break out in 2020, but it happens, I think this era's worst years were definitely 1-8, 2-2, and I'm gonna say 2-3 as well. I'm sorry, I did not enjoy Morning Musume this year. Sorry, but I'm looking forward to Morning Musume 2-4 and Erina's leadership. And thinking about it now, I think I may be too harsh on 1-8. I mean, I didn't like the singles that year. I mean, I liked Are You Happy, but that was it. I don't know. What did you guys think? What did you guys think of Morning Musume 1-8? Let me know in the comments. And I think Morning Musume 17, they were so underrated. Morning Musume 17, it just gave me golden era vibes. Just the big lineup, all the generations, all the personalities. Like, they really could have split the group into two that year, like they did in 2003. But, you know, I'm rambling now. Let's get back to the ranking. So yeah, number 7, Fukumura Mizu Era. At number 6, I have the Graduation Era. I love the music during this era. I love the line distributions. I love the lineup. As scandalous as this era was and how rapid everyone was leaving the group, it's still enjoyable to me. I don't know about you guys, but I liked it. At number 5, I have the Purple Era. Now, this era is not appreciated enough to me. I'm still surprised it isn't official. Like, we need to start a campaign to make this era official. It's so solid and consistent. I love the lineup. The music was great. This is one of the few eras where almost everyone can sing. Like, we've got Mickey, Risa, Reina, Eri. Then we've got Hitomi, who can hang. Ogawa Makoto in the corner. She can hang too. And then, then there's Asami and Koharu, adding a little spice to the songs with their shaky vocals. And, Sayumi is somewhere in the dish, but but this was a good era. I liked it. Purple Era was good. At number 4, I have the Colorful Era. Now listen, it took me a long time to appreciate Colorful Era. EDM was honestly something I had to learn to like. And, I love it now, but getting used to that auto-tune and the electronic music, it took a while to get used to, but, I like it now. Colorful Era, it was a cute lineup. 6th and 9th through 11th generation. I was here for it. I liked it. And then, Sayashi Riho was in my top 3 of favorite Morning Musume members, so I get my life watching Colorful Era content. I have nothing else to say. Colorful Era is great. At number 3, I have the New Era. To be honest, I don't know why I have this era ranked so damn high. I don't even like the music during this era. I'm just gonna be honest. The New Era is given like season 8 of Degrassi The Next Generation. Like, if you know, you know. You have your old members mixed in with the fresh newbies. And for some odd reason, I love it. Like, listen, don't take my ranking seriously. I'm sure someone watching is like, Donnie, this ranking is trash. None of it makes sense. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. It doesn't make sense. But seriously, I just like the lineup of this era. 5th, 6th, 8th, 9th, and 10th generation. It was honestly cute. I mean, I wish Lisa's leadership was a bit longer and Aika never graduated. But everything happens for a reason. At number 2, I have the Golden Era 2. You know what they say, the sequels are sometimes better than the original. I would have loved to have been a fan of Morning Musume during this time. The group looked like so much fun, and the content they were producing was grade A. I'm jealous of everyone that was actively following Morning Musume during this period. I love the huge lineup, 15 to 16 members, splitting the group into 2 subgroups. Like, that is so lit, just iconic all around. 5 stars. And finally, at number 1, we have the Platinum Era. Come on, what else could it be? What I love most about the Platinum Era is the music. Y'all, I am 28 years old. Now, I appreciate all music, but I gravitate more towards music with mature themes. Relationship problems, a no good man you're dealing with, being in love, being in a fake love, yearning for love. None of that bouncy chicken stuff, okay? I'm just kidding. I'll take back that shade. But I love music performed by grown women about grown people issues. And that's what the Platinum Era is all about. Morning Musume was just too cool during the Platinum Era. Now, I wish 8th generation was showcased better, but I can look past it because the girls were making magic with what little they had, and I will forever respect and appreciate it. So yeah, Platinum Era is the best era. Like, come on, we all know this. So there's my top 9 Morning Musume eras. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm trying to evolve my channel and create more meaningful content because I do it for you guys. I hope my videos inspires you to create your own content to share. Please share your opinions on Morning Musume eras in the comment section. Do you divide Morning Musume's timeline in a different way? Do you have your own names for the eras? What is your favorite era? Let's talk about it. Until next time, thank you guys.
Flashback